this angle the best. Good evening. Welcome to a little evening chit chat with me. This is a series that I would love to start where I just chit chat with you guys about what's going on in life and things that I'm learning and just lessons that are coming up to me right now in life. I feel like a lot of times I'll be talking with my friends and I'll be expressing to them different lessons that I'm going through and what I've been learning. And I'm always hit with like a wow, like you just casually said some profound things. So I wanted to kind of play with that and see, what I would come up with here with you guys. I have some fruit with me today. On today's menu, we have some cut up pineapple. So get your snacks, I'll wait. Okay, I waited. I love to snack on fruit in the evening, so Wow. Freshly cut up pineapple. Wow. This hits unlike anything else right now. Okay. Let me put the pineapple away before I get too distracted. Fruit just... Oh my gosh. Okay. So life. Let's chit chat about how life is going. At least for me, life has been going at a very odd pace. I've been really with the winter and the fall, you really have, a lot of times it can be easy to fall into isolation. And isolation is not a bad thing, depending on how you're doing it and why you're doing it. But at least for me recently, I've been more in isolation, but it feels like a lot of preparation has been going on. Honestly, this whole year has felt like preparation for something that I can't imagine. And when I say that, I've been a lot of my friends right now, or a lot of the people in my life, and including myself, I've just been hearing a lot of people have it just being downloaded with this knowing that they are about to walk into a whole new era next year in 2025. And it seems like 2025 has a lot of things in store, but there's a lot of things in store that we're not aware of. It just a lot of people feel like they're entering into a very new era in life. And I just relate to that really heavy right now. I've been really just trying to figure out what to prepare for in 2025 and what to prepare for next year in general. And I feel like I'm in a place of having to surrender to the preparation. And because of that, I have been learning to be much more conscious about not getting lost in the planning. And it can be really easy to plan instead of prepare. But I've just been getting downloaded with divine messages of that if I try too hard to plan right now, I am only going to limit myself because there are things ahead of me next year or soon that I can't comprehend right now. So if I start trying to plan for things that I'm not even aware are going to be happening, I'm not aware of some mighty blessings that are going to enter my life next year. All that, the most beneficial thing I could do for myself is to surrender to the preparation that I am naturally being led through right now. I love to travel. And right now I've just been at a season where I've just been at home living with family for the last few months. And it wasn't what I expected my year would turn out like, or the end of my year would turn out like. But I've just been getting a lot of divine messages from God and just from synchronicities that this is exactly where I am meant to be, exactly at the time that I'm meant to be there. And it's just it just takes a lot of surrender to really surrender to that, because to know that you're being prepared for something that you can't verbally express feel it's kind of difficult because you don't necessarily know everything that's going on. You don't know what you're preparing for. You don't know, and if you don't know what you're preparing for, how do you know what is proper preparation? And right now this feels like a season to just let go of trying to figure it out. Like just letting go of trying to understand all the small details and really stepping into that trust with God, with the divine, with whatever you feel leads you in life, and just really stepping into trust that you are being led where you need to be in order to get to your goal and where you hope to go to. I would love to share with you guys a divine message I got from God while I was journaling. So a lot of times I'll be journaling and I will get just like a mental download of information, and I'll just be writing and scribing. And usually it's like I don't know what I'm writing until I go back and read it. And that's how I know it's a message from a being that is not me. And I consider that being God. So, and for those of you who don't believe in God, you can, if you want to say your intuition, that works too. Your discernment, whatever. But to me, they're all connected. So here was my message I had got from God that was really helpful for just recognizing where I'm at. What I wrote was, the pacing is on purpose. First off, that's already an amazing line. That honestly, I think that's gonna be the title of this video, honestly, because the pacing is on purpose. The pacing's on purpose. Like, I feel like a lot of times it can be difficult. I'm gonna get back to the message, but let's talk about this first line first. A lot of times it can be difficult to recognize, like, it can be difficult when we want things to be going at a certain pace and it's going at a much different pace than what we would prefer. And like, this season's giving all about surrender. All about surrender. Right? At least for me, things feel like they're going much slower than I would like for them to go. And I keep just trying to figure out, I kept finding myself trying to figure out, why are things going so much slower when I want them to go quicker? And I've been feeling this way all year. Like, all year has felt much slower than I was hoping it would feel. And at this point, now with it being December of 2024 and it being the end of the year, I've come to recognize that the slowness was necessary. And that whenever we have a slow season, it is there because a much more fast-paced season follows. And I'm like, wow, like I've had a whole year of just things going very slow for me. So am I about to enter a whole year of things going quick? And that's exciting for me, but also like that can feel a little scary because I've been going at this pace, this much slower pace lately. And even though it's not what I had intended, there's times where it's nice, but there's also times where it can feel kind of restless because I'm like, OMG, am I doing something like wrong? Like, do I need to be doing something specific that I'm not doing? Like, why are things going so slow? Like, to give more context, I've really been wanting to step into being a full-time artist, and I'd really hoped to have like more feasible streams of income by now. And I remember when the year started, my goal was to start to find a bunch of different streams of income, like creative streams of income, so that by the end of this year I could be saving up to move to a new place and to go on a whole new adventure, and go move to a new town. And it's been a year, and at this point, like, I've just been planting seeds and they haven't necessarily grown a huge amount yet. And I've been wondering, like, why aren't these seeds growing that I've planted? I've released an online art shop. I made a website. I created a Patreon. I've been doing all these things to create income and to pursue being a full-time creative. And like, there is no feasible streams of income coming from that yet. So what am I doing wrong? And I just and with getting this message of the pacings on purpose, I recognize like, oh, like good things take time, and that's not just a saying. Like it's so true. Good things truly take time. And so just coming to learn that, you know, this year was a season of planting seeds. And it's not that those seeds aren't growing, it's just that they're growing at their own pace. You can't rush a plant to grow. All you can do is learn what you need to do to nurture it and give it as much nutrients as it can so that it can grow as strong as possible. And sometimes, you know, slow and steady wins the race. That first line just really gave me a lot of ease of like, hey, like, it's okay that things are going at the pace that they're going right now. And we don't have to try and force it to do something. We don't have to try and force things to be how we imagine it in our heads. And a lot of times when we do that, we try to force things don't turn out exactly as we hope. Sometimes they turn out kind of like it, but not exactly. But I just been coming to realize that there is so much in store for me that I can't even imagine right now. So trying to push the pace just isn't where it's at right now. Like there is so much behind the door of just sitting down and surrendering to where I am going. To surrender is really helpful, but also, like, because I've been stepping into surrender, I've been also having to really establish what is it that I genuinely desire, and what is it that I genuinely need, and what is it that I just want, and learning to differentiate all those things and learn, like, okay, I deeply desire to be able, I actually wrote this down. My heart deeply desires the freedom of being fully financially independent in ways that bring me joy, fulfillment, and that stroke my creativity in exhilarating ways. That has been one of my biggest desires for years. But I feel like I'm finally ready to make that come true. And that's only an example of one of my biggest desires. I have many more, but learning, like, okay, that's my desire. So how do I attain that? But how do I attain that in the way that I can function with joy? Like, I don't want to find the creative career that I want and that I'm functioning through anxiety, through stress, through annoyance, through sadness. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. I want to play and get paid for it. Like, that is the goal right now, to be able to feel like I'm being paid to play and that people want to play with me creatively, and like I get paid from that. So yeah, so let's get back to what I was journaling about. So, as I said, the pacing is on purpose. The pacing is preparing you to not feel fearful or overwhelmed when God introduces you to the wonders God has in store for you. And like I said, you can replace God with intuition, with discernment, with love, with the creator, with whatever you want to call it. But we're just going to say God for now to sum it all up. Soon, things will be very different, but in amazing ways you cannot imagine at the moment. God has heard all that you've asked for, and God will be answering the desires you have given to God much sooner than you realize. There's more, but we're going to pause again. I've been doing my best to get really settled in what I genuinely desire and learn what is it that my heart truly wants, and getting as clear on that as possible. There's this question that's really been like guiding me. If I could have my ideal life, my dream lifestyle, what does that look like? What does my dream life look like with no limitations? Like, let's say I'm like, oh, I want to get $1 million a month. If I could dream about what I genuinely desire with no worldly, functional, rational limitations, what would I want my life to look like? Like, would I want to take, trips to the moon every week or something? Like, just include anything, include whatever it is that you are dreaming about to its maximum core. Like, think like a kid. Like, if you were a kid and you were thinking limitlessly, what would your life look like? And what do you think would bring you joy? And those have been questions that I've been asking myself a lot and getting really clear on what it is those answers are for me. So, okay. Right. The pacing is preparing you to not feel fearful or overwhelmed when God introduces you to the wonders God has in store for you. Soon, or here it says in 2025, but we'll just say soon. Soon, things will be very different, but in amazing ways that you cannot imagine at the moment. God has heard all that you've asked God for, and God will be answering the desires you have given to them much sooner than you realize. Following the instructions God has given you this month are for your utmost benefit. The abundance is on its way. The pacing is preparing to change from what you've been experiencing this year. The things your heart has been desiring will be making their way to you soon. Surrendering to this preparation God is leading you through is the key to unlocking what's next. God can work best when you are staying focused on flowing at the speed God has set for you. Recently, it may have been slower than you have expected, but there is much more in store behind the door of obedience, faith, and trust, even when things lack sense. Try your best each day, and you'll be successful. The only way to fail is to ignore God's instructions. If you are trying your best, it is only the effort that matters most. God is with you every step of the way. Do not fear the ways in which may feel mysterious to you. You will always be able to discern what is and is not God. Stay focused. Know you are never alone, for God is always in your presence, and that everything that God tells you to do is in your favor and in the favor of those that God loves, which is everyone, or just others in general. Isn't that a message right there? That is a message. That is a message. So yeah, that I had received that message while journaling, and it really, really helped me to just be okay with where I am at and learn that like this is exactly where I am meant to be. So hopefully that message was for some of you as well, just cause like I just know when I received that, I was like, it all makes sense. So to end this off, life feels very weird right now. Life feels weird, but it doesn't have to feel weird. It only feels weird because it feels new and unfamiliar. And I think we all can understand that there is a feeling of feeling like we are entering into a new unfamiliar era. And it is important not to get scared by that unfamiliarity, but to see it as the next step and to really just sit with self and be willing to ask yourself questions of why you are feeling uncomfortability this season. And I can almost guarantee you that you will find a lot of answers when you really dive deep into that question. I know that I have. I know that I have friends who have. So yeah, I feel like there is so much in store for next year. And I am so excited. I'm so excited to see how I grow. I am so excited to see how those around me are able to grow. I'm excited to see us all grow together. And I'm really excited to see what I create next year. I just feel all of this creativity and creative ideas just bubbling within. And I'm so excited to just and just express it and to see where it takes me and to see the amazing opportunities that are in store for me, that are in store for you, that are in store for those that you love. Like I feel like a lot of people's lives are going to change for the better next year, but only if you allow it, because there are always blessings at the door, but blessings only come to us if we allow them to come to us. And yeah, so I wish you all of the luck in exploring this new era that we're in. I really hope that my message was able to reach the people that it was meant for, and if you're watching this, then you're one of those people. I hope to have more of these chats throughout my as I grow this YouTube. I hope to have more of these evening chats. This was fun and cute and cozy as well. I am about to go and eat some more of this fruit. And yeah, so thanks for joining me for a little cozy time. And yeah, I look forward to seeing y'all next time. I don't really have an outro. I just kind of recognize that. If you watch this, this message was exactly for you. And if you know of anyone who this message could help, feel free to send it their way. Have a beautiful rest of your evening. I love you. And God loves you too.